blockade the Boston Harbor by passing the Boston Port Bill, thus destroying all trade and effectively starving the inhabitants of the city. The Committee of Correspondence sent word out of their plight to the rest of the colony. I'd like to interject and kind of change that just a little bit. And the Tea Party began to send out emails to their partners around the nation. And they began to respond to what's going on because things had become intolerable. As they began to send the word that the British were trying to starve them out. And you know, there are forces now in America who have taken note of the Tea Party movement, and they're trying to starve us out. They're trying to put us in a little box. They're trying to vilify it. You know, I've been doing this kind of speaking for a long time, a couple decades, and I've been to many a gathering this size or bigger, and I've noticed one thing. Whenever you have a person of color speaking as though they love their country, there's a great absence of NBC, ABC, and the rest of them, but that does not stop us. So the historian tells us that from around the colonies, from around the Boston began to send food. They began to gather, and they began to support those who are in the midst of this attempt of starving out the city. The towns, the cities surrounding the colonies began sending their support. And you know what? This was not a bunch of fat cats. It was not a bunch of rich people, but it was a bunch of godly people, a bunch of brave people, a bunch of folks that knew what they believed in. And they said, we will not let our brothers and sisters perish in Boston while we still have something that we can offer and something that we can give. You might not have $1 million. We might not be the richest crowd in the world, but as long as you got heart, as long as you got faith in the eternal God of the universe, as long as you know right will always win out, we've got something to offer that will make us more than conquerors in the end. Some things happened in America in the last few decades that brings a lot of us here. One of the things that happened in the bosom of prosperity like the world has never known. Being protected by the most magnificent military machine in the history of the world, while enjoying the calm tranquility that they afforded us by putting their lives online. We allowed ourselves to be lured into a sleep of complacency and began to think all was well and nothing was going on. But the enemy was continuing to work to destroy this great nation. But now, and I read a verse about now is the time. Because see, while we slept, they attacked the womb. They attacked traditional marriage. They attacked and undermined the freedom of speech. They attacked the right to property and the right to eminent domain. They attacked capitalism and stole General Motors, Chrysler, and the student loan business. They stole from us the right to free speech. They're trying to further rob us with cap and trade. But it's too late, folks. We woke up, and the time is now to say it is too unbearable to remain quiet. As I finish, I read a verse that said the time is now. And as I close, the time is now. The time is now. The time to fight. Not with guns and bullets, but with the power and might of right. The time is right, and the time is now. Because we have the right values and the right morals. The time is right now because we must remind elected officials. We don't send kings and queens to Washington. We send servants of the people to Washington. So as I take my seat, my brothers and sisters, who I'm delighted to be with today, let it be, let us be. The time is now, folks. We're not going to stop with 2 rallies. We're not going to stop with 2 meetings. We're going to fight, and we're going to fight. We're going to speak up, speak out, stand up, shout out, cry out, stand in the gap, grab hold